Clarity on Fire, a podcast for people who know what they don't want out of their life and career, but aren't sure what they'd rather be doing.
In a world where it's easy to exist, but hard to feel alive, we, Kristen
and Rachel,
2 certified life and career coaches, are here to help you cut through the information overload, get unstuck, and focus not just on how you can have a career you're passionate about, but how to create a whole life that feels fulfilling.
So join us here, where we serve up inspiration and down-to-earth wisdom in a way that only 2 best friends can.
We want you to experience the relief of knowing that, yes, you're allowed to want more out of your life and career.
And no, you don't have to wander through the dark anymore. Our job is to light the fire that shows you the way. Let's go.
Hi.
Hey.
Before we get into this, I just want to give you guys a heads up. I'm not going to say much more about it yet. We'll get into it in the next couple of episodes, but wanted to give you a heads up that if you remember way back in, I think it was June, we announced a couple of major things.
Oh, and one was that we would not be doing
Our
the
course.
PPVE in the fall as planned.
Yeah.
We'd be doing it one final time in the new year.
Yeah. So
that's coming up.
That time is coming up at the end of the year, or at the end of this month. And we'll give you dates and that kind of stuff later. But just letting you know that this is the last time we're doing this course. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's basically our one-on-one coaching process done in group form. So there's all sorts of videos and workbook assignments, and there's a forum where you can ask questions and everything. So it's all of the same content that our one-on-one coaching clients get without actual one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
But interaction with us in the group online in the forum. So if that's interesting to you, yeah, it is about 6 weeks long. And we'll be starting opening enrollment in a couple weeks and getting started late January.
And like I said, this is the last time we intend to run this course.
Yeah. So get in while the getting's good. We'll have more
while there
details.
is any getting to have.
We'll have and there will be a cap to how many people we take, because I just can't do much more than 50-ish people. So it's not just that it's the last time. It's that there's still a limited number of
Well, we still want to be able to give
spots
people the attention they deserve throughout the course.
Yeah, I can't respond to 200 people. Not that 200 people have ever signed up before. I'm not like...
But, last time, you never know.
You never know. So, okay. What is this blog about?
This is about, are you chasing the wrong dream or for the wrong reasons? And so I point out 4 red flags that you should be looking out for to see, am I doing the wrong thing or am I doing it for the wrong reasons? But then, of course, I have some ways of telling if it's the right thing and if you're on the right track. I just know right now people are setting goals. People are making intentions. People are dreaming out their next year or their next decade maybe. And, maybe let's do a little bit of a clarifying at the beginning to make sure why you're doing it is correct and in integrity.
Yeah, I mean, I think that most everyone at some point asks themselves, am I doing this for the right reason?
Yep. It's so easy to get just stuck in something.
Yeah.
So I get into all that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hear that, and then we'll be back at the end.
Are you chasing the wrong dream? Whether you love partying until the New Year's ball drops or turning in before midnight, whether you swear by New Year's resolutions or roll your eyes at them, it's hard to fully avoid getting caught up in the energy of a new year, and in this case, a new decade. I don't know about you, but I can't help feeling inspired to reflect on my life, dream about the future, and commit to making changes. I think it's important to have built-in rhythms throughout the year that remind us to pause, reflect, and, if necessary, course correct. So while I'm personally not crazy about New Year's resolutions, let's be honest, they're usually abandoned by February anyway, I do appreciate anything that reminds us to be a bit more intentional. That said, if you find yourself dreaming, visualizing, and intention setting around this time of year, I applaud you. And I also want to challenge you to dig a bit deeper this year to get to the heart of why you want the things you want. Because the why behind your goals will determine whether or not you actually achieve them. And more importantly, whether achieving them will ultimately make you happy. So consider the changes you want to make in your life in 2020. Do you want to get a new job? Or go back to school? Or move to a new city? Or create your own business? Or start a new exercise regimen? Then, look out for the following 4 potential red flags to make sure you're not pursuing the wrong dream for the wrong reasons. Number 1, it's a should. Most of the New Year's resolutions that end up failing are shoulds. I should lose weight. I should pay off debt. I should try for that promotion. It's no surprise then that the things you feel like you should do are also the things you never end up prioritizing. That's because the energy of a should is heavy and demotivating. So you'll end up procrastinating on the things you should be doing in favor of the things you want to be doing. Then you'll judge yourself for not focusing on those shoulds, and the guilt will make the thing feel even heavier. It's a vicious cycle. So take a good hard look at the things you feel you should be doing and ask yourself if you can simply let it go. By the way, if you feel instant relief at that idea, you're on the right track. Or if you can't let it go completely, how can you infuse some joy or deeper purpose to it? Number 2, it's just about the money. Look, I'm not going to pretend like we live in a world where you can make choices without considering how it's going to affect you financially. That would be insulting your intelligence. The truth is, for better or for worse, we all need money to survive, and it affects all areas of our lives. So whatever changes you're hoping to make this year, you probably have to consider the financial implications. But I see far, far too many people making choices that are all about the money. They stay in a job they hate because it pays well, or they never pursue their business idea because they're afraid it won't make enough money, or they postpone moving to a new city that they love because moving is expensive. You know these people. Maybe you are this person. Hell, I've been this person. It's easy to fall into the money trap. I'm not asking you to make financially irresponsible decisions, but I am challenging you to get honest with yourself about how much your money fears are impacting your choices. Because if you're doing something or not doing something just because of the money, you will never feel deeply fulfilled by it. Number 3, it's what someone else wants for you. I have a client who's struggling with the next steps in his career. He recently said, "Everyone keeps telling me I should get an MBA, and I know they're probably right, but I have zero interest in going back to school, especially for something that's so math-focused." Despite his reluctance, he often finds himself researching MBA programs, and he's even half-heartedly submitted a couple of applications. But getting an MBA has never been a dream or a goal of his. It's something other people want for him, and he's gotten caught up in their visions for his future. This happens all the time. College students majoring in something their parents will approve of. Employees taking on projects that will impress their boss. People pursuing titles, degrees, cars, or homes for the prestige factor. If you're struggling to figure out whether something is a genuine desire of yours versus you're doing it for other people, try this. Imagine you could make a decision and no one would ever know what you chose. What would you do? A way you can practice this in real life is by keeping your idea to yourself for a little while to make sure it's truly yours and not influenced by anyone else's opinions. 4, it's the next logical step. Once you've gotten on a particular track, it's all too easy to keep following that trajectory, whether or not it's leading to a place you care about going. I've heard more stories than I can count about people who fell into a random job and then stayed there for years or decades, climbing the ranks simply because that was the path they found themselves on. They'll take the next promotion because it's the next logical step, not because they want the new position. This happens in relationships too. I've known many couples who got married because, well, we've been together for a few years and it felt like the next step. If the main reason you're going after something is because it makes sense, I beg you, take a pause to examine whether or not you really want this. Trajectories are comforting because they give you a natural next step to pursue. But they're also dangerous because they take the thought and intentionality out of reaching for the next milestone. So before you follow the next logical step along the path, zoom out and make sure it's a path you actually want to be following in the first place. How to know you're on the right track. If you resonate with any of the following statements, that's a good sign you're pursuing the right dream for the right reasons. You're a bit scared to go after it, but it feels worth getting out of your comfort zone. You find yourself daydreaming about it at random moments, wishing it were already true. It aligns with your top values, whether that's passion, connection, joy, purpose, freedom, generosity, etc. You'd like people to approve of what you're doing, but at the end of the day, you don't really care what they think because of how much this matters to you. You wish you had more time to focus on this thing because you're so eager to make progress on it. If someone asked you, why do you want this? You'd have no trouble giving them a clear answer. You're willing to do some uncomfortable things on the path to pursuing this. You'd want to do this even if no one ever knew about it. So tell me, have you ever pursued the wrong dream for the wrong reasons? What are your goals for 2020 based on this more in-depth way of looking at New Year's resolutions? Share with me in the comments.
All right. If you liked this and you want more on the same general theme, go check out a couple of recommendations. Blog from over a year ago, December 2018, why you should keep new ideas to yourself.
Yep. I actually referenced that one in the article itself.
Okay.
Although you can't hear me reference it because I can't link in a voice. But if you go to the actual blog, you'll see. Also, Rachel wrote a blog that I think we republished a year ago, January 2019, called Do You Want It? Or Do You Only Think You Should Want It? Which I do kind of get into in this blog. But if you want even more on that, definitely go listen to that one.
And then one last blog from August 2018, so even longer ago, how to transform knowing what you don't want into knowing what you do want, which is a very intro kind of conversation about what it's really a conversation about the process we take people through in coaching and in the PPVE.
Yeah, this is just a little teeny snippet of it. And I think we actually have a downloadable worksheet that you can, that goes along with that blog. So if you listen to it, but then actually go to the link of where it lives on our site, you can get a free download to help you go through that. So lots of more content in this same arena while you're thinking about goals and all of that at the beginning of the new year.
So we'll be back on Friday with our first normal person interview of the year.
Yes. And it is with a client/friend of mine, Mary Beth, who had a really interesting realization recently that it's okay for your path to have some twists and turns. And it's important to be open to those because she will tell you a whole story about how she was not at first open to a change in the plan because she was like, this is not the plan. I can't do it this way. And how, a little openness can actually be exactly what you need to get where you're going.
Funny how at least half the people we interview have that as a theme. Mm-hmm. But funny also how people keep needing to hear it.
Yes.
So we'll see you on Friday for that.
Okay, see you then.